All right, so today we're going to talk about positively increasing your business using pop buys and mail buys. Now, we originally, kind of give you a little bit of history here, we originally did pop buys. That was kind of, something that we always did to just check in with our clients. And what we found that as we've gotten busier in real estate, we actually didn't have time or ability to be able to drop gifts off at our farms or at our clients' homes, things like that. And so we came up with mail buys, which is kind of a version of a pop buy. So we're going to go through all that today, but I wanted to kind of let you know kind of where we were coming from with it, how it evolved. It evolved out of necessity. And honestly, our clients absolutely love this. So this works so well in our business. We want to share it with everybody out there. All right. So today we're going to talk about kind of the overall marketing strategy. What is a pop buy? What is a mail buy? Who are we going to target these? Why do they work? And how to really do it effectively. So that's kind of what we're going to go over today. Now, as with anything, you really have to look at a comprehensive strategy. And for us, we take pop buys or mail buys as just kind of one piece of our kind of entire marketing puzzle, our entire marketing strategy, right? So these work really well when they are combined with newsletters, postcards, social media, events, and it just all works when you do it together. It's a compounding effect. So the more that you do and you stay consistent and you stay branded with it, the more powerful each one of these individual marketing channels is going to be. So it's really a compounding effect when you start to do them all. Each one of these, I can't say one is more important than the other. All of them are very important parts of really what we do as a marketing plan. So with that, we want to remind everybody, no matter what you do, again, to get that compounding effect on all of your marketing, make sure that you stay consistent and you stay branded. That's really where you're going to get kind of the biggest return on the investments that you make. So when your brand becomes recognizable to your clients, to the marketplace, to your farm, that's when you're really going to start to be able to see the return on your time investment. All right, so let's get started.
Talk a little bit about a pop buy. So like Shara said, you really want to be recognizable. So staying consistent with everything, not only in how often you do it, but in your marketing is important. So a pop buy, a lot of people ask what it is. It is typically like a door hanger that you would go to your neighbor's house or go to your top 8 clients and pop by. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to door knock and actually talk to them. It actually makes the most sense, and for time too, to actually just pop by and drop it off. A lot of people use it as geo farming, and this is where we've been really successful with it, is popping by to your local neighborhood, because it's easy, right? We can all walk around the block or our neighborhood to 100 to 200 homes. And also, those people, or you've probably seen them out. So it's a really effective way of becoming your neighborhood's like local expert and to stay top of mind, because even if they're not thinking about moving, if you're always in front of them, they're probably going to refer you to someone who's looking to move in the area because you're the first thing they think of. And it's not just a door hanger. We found that it's most effective when it's some sort of gift where you're coming from contribution and you're actually giving these people something that's going to be memorable, that's unique, that they aren't just going to toss in the trash, and that won't melt like candy. And it's really great in terms of communicating. I mean, last year was a little bit different with popping by and people sanitizing everything. So that's where we kind of invented the mail buy as well, which is a little bit different. And I know that we've actually perfected that recently too. And that doesn't need to necessarily be to your neighbors, because the one thing that we found that's the hardest with pop buys to our clients is that there's no easy way to do it. Let's leverage out doing this work, because driving all over town is going to take up too much of your time, waste too much money with gas. It's not efficient.
So what we kind of decided to do was then, because a combination of, people not wanting random things dropped off at their houses. And again, being able to really leverage our businesses, we started to do mail buys to really our A clients. Sometimes it's our A's and B's, but really it's to our A clients. It's just a great way to connect with them. It's easy. We can, be more memorable than we would be with a postcard or some type of just regular direct mail. It's just like something a little bit added, something special. They know that we're thinking about them. So we've really found that mail buys for most of our businesses kind of within our team here, that's what we're doing. And we're finding extreme success with that. So that's more for our A clients. And we're using pop buys now more for our geo farms. You could mix it up. You can do it any which way you want. That's just where we're kind of finding success. Okay. So who do you target then?
So we found that with the pop buys, like Shara was saying, targeting your local homeowners is probably the easiest way to use that, because you can go quickly around your neighborhood, especially in the spring and the summer and even the fall. We found success too. Take your kids, take your dog, if it's a nice dog that you can, obviously, if people aren't afraid of dogs. But for the pop buy, it's really easy to do your local homeowners. And then for the mail buy, not only your former clients and your top A clients and database, but people that you're actively working with now or that you're trying to work with. They're going to see that as really, really unique, that probably no other agent that they have talked to would even consider.
And why do they work? So we find that they work kind of like a reverse form of prospecting, right? So we always think of prospecting as us reaching out, right? Us calling, us, texting, us emailing our database. But in this case, we send this out and they contact us. It's the greatest thing ever. It really is, because we consistently will get messages like this when folks get their pop buys. They always reach out to us because they're grateful for the little gift. It's something, because sometimes they're a little cheesy, guys. It's okay. It brings a smile to people's faces. It's fun. It's lighthearted, and it leads to business. The bottom line, that's kind of why we are, have a good marketing plan in place, right? We want additional business from this. And so having, coming again, like Alex said, coming from contribution, your clients appreciate it and they're reaching back out.
And what's a shout out on social media? Because chances are that their friends and family are going to see that, or even just their followers could see it and, see something that is really neat that no other they're probably thinking like, why didn't my realtor do that? Or like, why, because most don't do that. And then one of these led to a referral. So if you're always staying top of mind, they're always going to spread your name to friends and family who are thinking about moving.
It's great. So our team will typically kind of do them together. So we'll, order them kind of en masse, whatever it is that we're doing. And I just love seeing on social media when somebody's client gets the gift and they're posting it on social. It's so great, because what people start to say and what our ultimate goal is that people say to us all the time, we see you guys everywhere, right? And that's what we want to do, because we want to be recognizable to them, top of mind, always. And this, again, kind of helps us achieve that goal.
Yeah, I get them a lot. You're like Santa, because you always know my birthday. You give me stuff all the time. It's great. It's the best feeling.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what, Alex, just a little kind of off topic here. But for birthdays, one thing that we'll do for some of our favorite clients, guys, is you can send, if you haven't ever seen them, they're Cheryl's cookie cards. They're absolutely adorable. They're like $6. And they're little cookie cards in a box, and they say like, happy birthday. So take a look. Cheryl's Cookies, I think .com is the website. But you can send little individual cookies, and one, they're really good, but two, people love them. It's such a cute little thing to do. It gets sent to your house, just one little cookie that says happy birthday. So just a little tip. Okay, so how are we going to effectively do our pop buys and mail buys, right? So we need to create a schedule. Minimum, we do them quarterly. I think depending on what your personal kind of marketing strategy is, quarterly is a really good target to have. If you intersperse that with events, I think that's a really nice balance. That way you're kind of mixing it up and hitting them with something either in person or an item of value. pretty much almost every month at that point. But know your audience.
And by mapping them out, Sarah, mapping them out and creating a schedule will make sure that during those busy months, when you do think that you're probably going to forget about it, you know that you have to send something out.
Absolutely. We have ours done for the entire year. We know what we're doing every single month of the year. We know which item it is. We know exactly what we're ordering. Because if we didn't take the time to do that this time of the year, come spring, we know when there's just no way we're going to be able to find the time to make all that happen. So have the plan now so that you can just implement it and put it on your calendar. Like Alex said, put it on your calendar to make sure that that happens. Time block it out. And that way it's a lot more manageable. But know your audience. So one thing we did this year was for virtual school, we did, because virtual learning, thinking of you, we did a coffee packet and like a drink mix packet, like for martinis or something like that. To all the parents out there who are struggling with, being a teacher and a full-time worker and everything else that, people were juggling. So that was a really cute one, but you have to know your audience, right? I mean, you have to know if you have most of your clients are young or families, then obviously that's going to be relevant. But if they're not, then, we need to adjust strategy. So you kind of have to know your audience. Same thing with, if you're doing these as a Popeye in a geographic farm, if you're targeting a, maybe neighborhood that's a really, really established that maybe is going to start to turn over at some point, again, there may not be a ton of kids there. Maybe that's not the approach you're going to take for that particular Popeye.
Yeah. And also it's always know that and going into the next one, making it memorable, is like Shara said, if you know that you're farming and your neighborhood is a townhome community with a lot of young first-time homebuyers, sending things out like that are like the popsicle sleeves or something like that. Not a great idea. But making it memorable in that effect, make sure that if you're spending money on this and you're going out, because regardless if you're popping by or if you're mailing them out, you're spending money on it. And the oh my gosh, fridge magnets for the whole calendar year where you can't even read the dates, and the seed packets. God, no more seed packets.
No more forget-me-nots.
Oh my God, this last year, I mean, everyone had a green thumb because of COVID, but in normal years, no one's getting that, jumping up and down and being like, thank God she thought of me that I get a seed packet that I can plant. No, I mean, it's going in the trash. You're wasting your money. So make sure that you do, if you're going to spend your money and your time on this, that it is something that they're going to like.
Absolutely. So with being memorable and kind of what you're talking about, Alex, where it's like, if we're going to spend money, let's make it make sense. We talked about this on our team, like how much money are we spending, right? How much should we allocate for marketing? What should our marketing budget be? And for us, what we kind of, ultimately decided was, I think really for our team, because teams, some marketing expenses are covered by team. For us, it was about 3% of our GCI. I think it really should fall anywhere probably between 3 and 5%. And then depending on, that's kind of like your personal marketing, not talking about marketing listings, not talking about lead gen. This is like your personal marketing. And the reason why your personal marketing is so important is because people are always looking at you. They're saying basically how you market yourself is a representation of really how you're going to market my house, right? So we want to make sure that we are always presenting as professionally as possible. And again, consistent. Marketing is a huge part of selling anyone's house. So you have to have a tight marketing strategy. So just kind of, a little, sidebar there on, kind of what we were thinking on personal marketing budgeting. Mm-hmm. All right. So to continue on, we encourage them to also share on social. So you can maybe do a hashtag with it. You can, hashtag your name, whatever it is, my realtor is better than your realtor, my favorite realtor. You can do some cute things and get cute with it, but encourage your people to share because again, we all find we're on social and that's where we find a lot of our news. And so if folks are posting, it's just a great exposure for you.
Okay.
So
no, So my next thing, and with social too, right? Like you're spending money on these Popeyes, but it's essentially a free service to market through. And everyone knows a mother or brother or a friend, someone who is a real estate agent. But again, are their realtors giving them something of value like you are, that they are happy enough with, that they can post it on social media? So in that, if you're incorporating mail buys, make sure that you put a personal note that's branded to you, so that if they do share it, it's obviously going to benefit you because people are going to see you everywhere. Just to make sure that people know that it's coming from you, stay consistent with your branding.
Absolutely. Again, that's where you get that compounding effect, which is ultimately so important. And then always a reminder, like we said, no more forget-me-nots. So just
and no recipe card stuff.
Oh.
The ones, all those things that you can find on those bulk websites, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Because really, you want people to identify you with housing, houses, real estate, home improvement, net worth, things, finances, things like that. We're not advertising ourselves as professional chefs, right? So why am I sending out a recipe card? So, just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so here are some examples of some of the pop buys and mail buys that we've done. So sometimes, and kind of what we try to do is we try to do a pop buy version and a mail buy version. So like, for example, if you see this one on the left here, when we were talked about like the virtual learning, we can pop by with actual little bottles or whatever it was. Again, know your audience. There's sometimes that's appropriate. There's sometimes that may not be appropriate. We also did these as a mail buy where we had the little packets. So it was super easy to mail those out. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Same thing with the ornaments. We mailed those out. And even you have two options kind of with the soap too. So you can do a soap container, or you could do little bars of soap, which we did this fall, and they were absolutely adorable. And again, easily mailed out in just a small bubble mailer.
And to go on to with the get creative part of it, like the seeds and the mini calendars, those kind of things that people don't really care about. Sending something like a $1 or $2 scratch off, it's very inexpensive, but it's super exciting for somebody, and it could be worth money. Who knows? It's not going to be the Powerball like we just went through, but get creative with things. I mean, that's one that is obviously, pretty standard out there, but one that I had done recently, or I've actually done for a few years, is I live in town. So I sent out all of my neighbors a magnet with all of the events on the town, because we're a very family friendly town. So make sure that you know your audience and do something that they're going to keep. If you do end up doing like a notepad, like I know a lot of people like to have those magnetic notepads, which isn't a bad idea, but if you do it, don't put your face on it, because they're probably not going to stick it on their fridge with a big picture of you on it. So just, think outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially that lottery scratch off, it is so easy. I mean, there's like no excuses around that one, right? Like all you need is a regular envelope, and it's really inexpensive, and just it's such a good one. People love that. They always crack up and send us pictures of it. Let's see here, but the local events is always a good one too. So something to keep up. The other idea too, you can do if you wanted to do some type of magnet that people actually would keep on their fridge, would be like a vendor list, like some of your favorite vendors. That's a great one to do as well. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. Again, I know I get some of these are a little cheesy, but you have to stay kind of relevant with it. And then also keep it light. It's fun. They're funny. So, just, in the, world we're in right now, with the mask, and I've got all your real estate needs covered, like they're cute. And that's, again, a really easy one that you could actually just send in a regular envelope. And you can write a quick note on the back of it. Easy to do. Coffee and referrals, keep my business running. That's always a cute one. And again, you can use those little Starbucks instant packs. And it's totally fine if somebody uses it or not. But again, you're definitely kind of getting the person's attention. They have to touch it. They have to feel it. And, again, they're going to appreciate it, even if it's something little like that. Okay. So just things to remember, guys.
You need to remember that it is coming from you, and it shouldn't seem like it's, even though we're buying them in bulk and sending them out in bulk, to write a personal note or stick something in there. Don't just stick your business card, because that's going to seem very like inauthentic. So you want to make sure that people are relating it to you and are going to reach out to you and text you and call you and all that kind of stuff, or post it on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure that if it is a pop by to your neighbors, that it has some sort of call to action. So we're giving them something, but we want it. And that's where the cheesy, little sayings come into play, but make sure that they have a reason to think of you and reach out to you if they are thinking of selling, because we all know that everyone gets postcards, which we also think are, effective in farming and geofarming. But when you're the local expert and you're their neighbor, having a pop by and a reason for them to call you is important. Again, provide value, give something memorable. No, we're going to say it time and time again, no seed packets, and keep it branded and consistent. Consistency is key, because if you spend $250 to send out a mail buy to your clients and then don't talk to them again for another 6 months with anything, it's not going to work. Even if you're on social media, even if you're doing the email newsletters, it's not as effective as when you actually put into play multiple different, marketing mediums. You have to meet them where you're at. They're at, right? Like a lot of people, they are getting tons of emails a day. So they might see your newsletter, but they might not read it. Your social media is going to pop up and it might not be relevant to them if it's about buying or selling. But if they're getting something like this that's relevant to them, they're going to think of you time and time again.
Yep, absolutely. So a couple kind of practical tips on really how to do these pop buys, or really the mail buys for the most part.
Mail buys, yeah. So the best part is mail buys are super easy. It can seem overwhelming, but the most important part is that when you're buying them, like make sure that if you're sending them out, you're buying them in bulk, right? Like we usually like to allocate like $1 to $3 for your neighbors because they're not as important, and then $2 to $5 for your database. Those ornaments that we got made, that we customized and everything, cost $4.50 each. By the time we purchase them. So you don't have to have it and that's something that they'll probably keep for many, many years. So it doesn't have to be something that's super expensive, because I know there's a lot of places out there that send, $15 pop buys, and it's just it's not attainable if you have, 45 clients or 50 clients or even more than that. So buy them in bulk. Same with the bubble mailers. You can buy those in bulk. Those bubble mailers that are like 6x9 on Amazon, you can get a pack of 500 for $40. It's super cheap. Store them in a closet somewhere, and use stamps.com, because you can get flat rate shipping, print the label out. I mean, it is a very easy process. You order the pop by in the beginning of the month. When you get them, you have your bubble mailers ready with your, printed note or something that you're putting in there with the card. Go to stamps.com, upload all of their addresses and contact information, print them out, stick it on, and send it in the blue mailbox. I mean, it is so easy to do. And you can really calculate what you're going to spend, because you know that this is a flat rate shipping. From the start. So some months you might spend more, but maybe you're only sending your top 8 clients. And then another month, like the ornaments, I would send, that would be an A client. And then something smaller, like a mini soap, I might send to my A and B clients. So make sure that you are doing it, in a way that is smart, that is going to make the most of your money. If you're, because you don't have to drive around and drop them off, and waste that gas. You don't realize how much you're spending in time and money. Being realtors, our time is worth so much money. And this takes all of that stress off of us.
Yeah. And once you figure out stamps.com and you upload that your list of addresses in there and names, it saves it in there. So you kind of have to just do it one time. And then maybe you have to add 1 or 2 here and there throughout the year. Right? But if you do it that one time, then you're going to be set up, and it makes it a lot easier. All right. So the bottom line is create a plan, not just with your pop buys and mail buys, create a plan, your entire marketing plan. Remember guys, this is just one piece of that marketing puzzle that we use as a comprehensive strategy that we know works. So, but each one, like I said, each one It's kind of like chairs, legs on a chair. Like each one is very important. And if you don't have one, you're going to topple over. It's kind of the same thing with this. Like we find each of these things is just as important as the other one. And pop-bys and mail-bys are really a great way to stay in touch, just a little bit of a different approach. So always remember, be consistent, be professional, and be branded. Do your pop-bys or your mail-bys at least once a quarter, and really stay consistent with making sure that those are all going out, as well as with the other marketing that you're going to be doing. Now, if you guys don't know what to send, we're always here to help. Blank Marketing Agency, every single month we have a different pop-by. Again, we recommend that you do them at least once a quarter, but we do have a different one every single month. So depending on what your schedule is, depending on what you like, what resonates with you, what's good for your market, we do have a lot of options throughout the year. So if you need assistance with that, we are always here to help you.
Does anyone have any questions on anything we went over? We always post our videos so you can get a refresh if you need to, but anything about the whole process of mail buys or pop buys or anything like that?
I'm trying to go through the chat here, guys, and see if we had any questions. No, we were doing 3% of our GCI for the whole year for our mail buys for our personal marketing. So our mail buys and for really our direct mail it, because those are really the two big costs for us. So we're really looking at, because we work on a team, because of our team does take some of the cost kind of off with events and things like that. So that's why we're saying, like, for us, we use around 3%, but it could be from 3 to 5%, and it could be a little bit more depending on, how heavy you're going on marketing. Are you in a growth phase in your business, or are you kind of trying to, maintain or, kind of cap expenses? And we're happy to talk about that a little bit further. I mean, we're pretty specific in who we're sending these to. We're not sending these to everybody and anybody. We're really sending them to our A clients, our raving fans, those people we know who are going to go out and refer us. I mean, we do know that we all have that kind of core referral base, no matter how many, homes we sell, even if they had a great experience. Some people are just more natural referrers than others. And so those are the folks that we're really targeting. We want them to know that we appreciate it every single time.
And another thing too, I forgot to mention is that as we know, we're all getting busy with the spring market, or will be getting busy with the spring market. No matter where you are, we all know the spring market kind of happens right after the Super Bowl. So we also have started offering just auto social media posting. So if you have a little bit of more time to do, or you have an assistant that's helping you with other stuff, and or you just don't want to do auto posting or set it up, we have a plan that's less expensive than our typical level 2, where we will post on Facebook and Instagram for you, so you don't have to do it. And I just saw another. Are there different strategies for your plans per region? We have one general strategy, but we offer many different options when we typically do it, especially for our newsletters. You can customize them however they would work for you. Everything is customizable in templates. So if you are in an area that might not be, as much as a seller's market as some other areas, you can change it to really fit your location and your clients.
We really try to keep them, as generic as possible. Also, some things are maybe tied into seasons just a little bit, which, some regions do experience more various, seasonal weather and things like that than others. But for the most part, we do try to keep them so that they really can be sent to anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
Too, guys, you could also use these for people that you're trying to get business from. Right? So think about it this way. If you're someone who's out there and your focus, you're going to grow your business, your focus is, let's call it on senior living facilities, right? And you're trying to get referrals from those types of businesses. Pop by there, use these pop buys there. Those are memorable for those referring sources as well. So whoever you're trying to, even get business from, get referrals from, use these pop buys there as a way to grow your business with folks that you haven't necessarily done business with yet. Maybe it's your accountant, maybe it's an attorney, but these can be used in a lot of different ways.
Maybe it's your hairdresser, you know, teachers, everybody.
Yep.
So yeah, they're very impactful.
Just get creative with it always.
Yeah.
Any other questions? You guys can feel free if you have questions about just anything in general. We're always here to help, not just by pop buys, but about anything in marketing and real estate in general. We're always here to help. We definitely believe in not recreating the wheel. For those of you who may not know, the reason we created Blink Marketing is really because we found a need in the market, because we, as our team, we couldn't find one full service marketing solution, right? So we created it. So we are huge believers of, we're willing to share information and things that work for us with anybody out there, because we appreciate when folks do it, you know, for us as well. So,
and we love feedback as well. You know, if different regions, like we want it to work for you, because we hated pulling postcards from one section and pop buys from other sections. It's a headache.
Yeah, so we're here to do it for you. Always, guys, reach out. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. And anything we can do for you, always just give a message on Facebook or anything, or Instagram, and we'll be here for you. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Okay. We do have a lot of clients in Canada and Toronto. So we're always open to advice and anything from there as well. We're actually working with a few people one-on-one now to get it more towards your market as well. And we do offer one-on-one consultations as well. So let us know if you need anything.
Thanks.
Okay.